some great actors. I was looking at the Truth of You video yesterday, starring Craig Cal, and that was pretty impressive stuff. Craig, tell me about if you haven't seen the Truth of You video, do check it out. It's really, really, really good. Great song, but really brilliant video. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was good crack now. It's good crack. Richie has a cameo in it now, if you can spot him.
I spotted you. Yeah, you were looking very demonic.
Very menacing. Yeah. And Richie is the only person in the band who's in every video. Yeah. That's a little known fact.
A little known fact.
But what we did was I had a dream one night. I know that sounds weird, but I had a dream.
Martin Luther King.
And I just rang Daz the next day. Daz is our director, and I said, Daz, listen, I'm not having this mad dream. I think we should do it. Daz is like, Daz one of these guys. He'll listen. He'd be like, okay, and then at the end he'd be like, let's do it. So we just got it together. We got in actors, like really good actors, like Alan Sherlock's a fantastic up and coming actor from Cabaret. Jenny Lee Masterson, like she's doing really well now. She's doing a stage play now this week. Really talented people. So if you can get people on the cusp of the wave going up, you know, that's obviously part of the whole project. The quality, just quality over quantity, you know.
That's brilliant. And the Daz you mentioned, that's Dara Murphy, right? So you know, for Dara as well, like for example, the guy that made Hosier's video for Take Me to Church, you know, is you know, giving talks and lectures and stuff like that, because again, just happened to catch on the wave of a band on the way up. Another video that I was looking at recently, Richie, was you guys doing an acoustic version of Deliver Me on 2XM.
Oh yeah.
And I have to say, it was absolutely superb. How does it feel doing a song like that, or doing anything really acoustically? Do you really have to go back to what chords was I playing when I wrote this and that kind of thing?
Well, that one was a bit of a weird one, because we got the call the night before to go in and do it. Really? So we were all in work, so we all had to get the time off. And then when we got there, we did another song that they're going to release in a couple of weeks, I think, Everything to Anyone. So when we sat down to start Deliver Me, it was like, why are we doing this? And the cameras were on, like, you know, and it was just a quick kind of, just play the first bar twice, right, grand, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, gun. That was it. So we were sitting there going, what the fuck? What's going on? And because there's a girl video there, there's cameras moving all around the room, and we're going, was that good? Because we left there going, oh no, we must have made a mess of that. And then we seen it, and Craig was texting us, we were good there. It was sorted, you know.
That is weird, because it's so good, like it really is. It absolutely stands. And great performance, Craig, as well.
Yeah, and I think though, like Richie can sometimes do himself a disservice. I mean, Richie's incredibly adaptable, and so is Gar. Like I just sit there, like I sing the same words anyway. Do you know what I mean? But the boys are incredibly adaptable musicians. Like, you know, if they're in a situation like that, like there's been times on stage where like Richie's guitar has plugged out, and he's just figured something out. I'll just go like James Bond.
Do a little Irish dance or something.
Another gig up in in the village, and Deco's track mixer broke just before we started, and we had 8 songs to do with no tracks.
Right.
So I had to think quick and think of the 8 songs we don't do with tracks, not rehearsed or anything. And we ploughed through the gig, and it was actually a great gig.
Yeah.
I'm saying, maybe we won't use tracks anymore. it was that good. But you have to think on the spot.
You have to be,
you know, and that's
improvise.
Why, that's why there's no beer beforehand.
Right, okay, yeah. We keep them till afterwards. Speaking of mad gigs and probably being, you know, improvising and stuff, I remember seeing you at Electric Picnic last year as well, I think in Jimmy Lee's Juke Joint or something like that. So how did that whole weekend go for you?
That was brilliant. That was amazing. Like, just to be an artist and to be invited down to Electric Picnic, it's such an honour. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we got that gig in a very strange way, and it just goes to show you like how things can happen for any upcoming band who are listening or watching or whatever. Like we played. We just wanted to try out some new songs earlier on in that year. So I went and I asked a few people. I said, do you know anywhere nice to just go? And it's a respectful crowd, and they listen, and you know, we'll actually be able to gauge the response because they will actually be listening. And so I got a list, and 1 or 2 of them off a friend of mine turned up at this gig in Parnell Square. I'd never seen the likes of it. Just walked into a room in a Georgian house, 2 stories up. It was the weirdest gig of all time. Weird but great, right? It was the weirdest gig, but they were so attentive. And there was a woman who put on the gig who was just like, my daughter runs such and such and I love you guys, and I'm going to get you playing Electric Picnic. We thought nothing of it. And then a month or 2 later, I get the phone call, you're playing Electric Picnic.
Wow.
It was so odd. It was
So it really can happen. As you say, that's kind of inspirational for any young bands who happen to be listening in or whatever. And, speaking about Electric Picnic, which is one of the kind of the focal points, I suppose, of the Irish music scene, and it is a fantastic festival, and thankfully give loads of Irish bands opportunities to play on the small stages at least. But it's a great accolade. How's the music scene in general for you guys? Because we love you, as in myself, Elaine, Gigonometry, the music scene. Does the music scene love you? Does it do enough for you?
I think everybody in the band has a kind of an opinion on this. My opinion on this is that at the moment, the Irish music scene it's struggling because it's caught in the aftermath of the digital age. Do you know what I mean? There are crowds going out to see gigs, but it seems to be only in a particular venue and only under certain guises. It's very strange. The crowds, by and large, across the board, aren't going out as much.
Yeah.
That's I find that anyway. Yeah. And it's incredibly difficult for bands now if they're not in a certain clique or if they're not in a certain niche. They seem to struggle. I just know from personal experience. There's musicians that I would put my house on. I love them. I think they're amazing, and they're struggling so hard right now.
Open my eyes and see